Yeah, tons and tons of conversation. This is probably one of the more popular PRs we've done on OpenSauced that had a lot of back and forth of feedback. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing, but it was a learning experience.
It's Issues with Brian.
All right, what's up, y'all? Back again with another Issues with Brian. This has actually been a treat. I've been really enjoying all the work we've been accomplishing together in open source. Hot OpenSauce.pizza has got more contribution in it, and I want to take some time to just shout out the contributions we've got through. So if you haven't noticed, and you've been watching these previous videos, we have a new UI. We have a new hero. It's not done because we have more stuff to come. So we actually have the hot repos, which is actually done. And then we have the list of repos, which are also done. Also, I need to sign in the Figma. But basically what I'm getting at, we're getting a lot of updates. We're really leaning into the idea of making the product hunt for open source. That's what this product will be. And encouraging you, if you have any cool open source repos, please submit them here. But I did want to talk about a couple PRs that came in to make this work. One is Shamim, obviously the hero. He is the hero, but also he implemented the hero as well, literally. And this came through is actually a lot of back and forth. It was quite the bit of the contribution, mainly because we had a lot of back and forth on approaches and like TypeScript and interfaces. The one thing I think we learned is that we probably just need to document more about the use cases and educate even new contributors on the reason why we're using TypeScript, the reason why we're not just doing any as far as types or unknown as a type, or things that all came up a part of this one PR. And it was more of a learning experience for everyone across the board. So shout out to Shamim for being so patient with like all of our QA testing. Also, I wanted to shout out a couple of our new triage team members who helped QA this and other PRs. So Chris, thanks so much for his contribution to finding the fact that redirect and URLs were redirecting to page not found. Ended up fixing that on a whole nother PR. And then some other stuff that we found is like some bugs around this link right here. Was supposed to be implemented, but we had a problem where we had this too much scope in the project, in this one PR that we had to just punt on this to another issue, which I'll fix later on the stream. And yeah, what else? Yeah, tons and tons of conversation. This is probably one of the more popular PRs we've done on OpenSauced that had a lot of back and forth of feedback. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing, but it was a learning experience. So some other stuff that we also learned in contributing open source is that when adding to-dos, the recommendation is actually create an issue number. Adding an issue number is actually going to be super helpful. So that way we know to go fix this later. So we do have an issue for here. Actually, did we have an issue for this or did we fix this? Oh, actually, I don't know if we actually even fixed this. Real quick, let me, if I search for view, I guess it looks like we actually took out contributions. And that's what the issue was here. So we'll need to fix this. We'll have to replace that. But for now, we do have a new hero. Appreciate that. Hero Shamim and all the reviewers, Chris and the other Chris, and NSD as well. NSD, I don't even know what your your actual name is, but thanks so much. Also want to shout out George, who's in the chat right now. Thanks so much for your contribution. I just wanted to point out that we ended up closing this PR. And the reason why we had to close this is because merge conflicts. So I wanted to take a step to talk about merge conflicts and how painful they are and how much we learned about this. So inside of OpenSauce, all the OpenSauce sort of tools, we have a beta URL, and then we also have the regular main branch hot OpenSauced.pizza URL. So beta, essentially the way this works is through a lot of complicated workflow automation through this like release automation that we have in GitHub Actions. If you're more than welcome to actually go and look into this, like have a deep dive. I think this is it's worth the I guess educating yourself on how to leverage actions to do really cool things like this. So because it's a setup, what we usually do is that we have a large sweeping change like this hero rewrite, everything above the fold. We have some sweeping changes. Also, shout out to the hot repositories. This is implemented. This down here is going to be implemented soon. There's actually a PR. But what I'm getting at is like large sweeping breaking changes put on the beta. So we can sort of have incomplete features to basically unblock the process. So like if, for example, what got unblocked was the fact that these contributors were returning empty array. We should probably fix that. But we were able to ship this without worrying about fixing that and figuring out what was the sort of bug there. So I guess what I'm getting at it, when we have a long-standing beta branch, it just encouraged a lot more merge conflicts to the extent that it made it very hard for folks like George to be very patient with us and like wait for us to fix merge conflicts, but also do some air traffic controlling. So we did have to basically close his PR with the recommendation that, hey, reopen this based on a rebase from the latest merge. So this is something we're learning more about. As you contribute to this project, if you're more than welcome to, I'm inviting you right now to contribute. We'll figure this stuff out. But I do appreciate your patience, George, as well as everyone who else has contributed recently in the project. And as I mentioned before, I actually hit live. We could even go into this little Git Sense tool and check out to see OpenSauced and see all contributions that's happened. So what's pretty cool is that we're going to make this available to everybody to use, hopefully in the future. But for now, you just take my word for it. If I go to all PRs that have been merged in the last 30 days, you can see a lot of familiar faces. So we see George, NSD, Vortex is hiding back there. Probably could help fix this UI. Then we got my pixelated self over here. And then, of course, we got Rizal, who's actually done some contribution in the last month, as well as, apologies, Han. Han had a lot of contributions earlier this month as well. So, actually, his last contribution was a month ago. So, Han, come back to us, make more contributions. But you can see myself, bus factor of 1. I'm way up on top of the chart and haven't done a contribution in a week because I stream once a week. I stream twice a week, but I didn't stream on Friday. So, no contributions. No contributions since last Friday. So, or last Wednesday, rather. All right. I do want to take a breath right there because, man, that was a lot of talking. But I appreciate everyone who's made contributions. Again, if you want to make contributions, we have a Discord. Check out the link below. As well as if you join me every Wednesday and Friday, you can see me live working on OpenSauced and, grab some good first issues.
It's Issues with Brian.